Kenny Moore has been the talk of town for Colts Nation all week long after his two pick six performance against the Panthers and everything else that he's done this season, right? Everything he's done before this season, had a lackluster year last year. Even he admits that he did not do great last year, but what he's been doing this year has been fantastic. What he was able to do last week, he by himself was able to outscore the Panthers. And at this point, he's one of the guys that's been here the longest on that defense, and he's a veteran player in the NFL. He's one of the biggest leaders on this team. And one of the guys that's right next to him is Zaire Franklin, right? They came into the Colts at the same time. Zaire Franklin getting drafted, Kenny Moore coming over from the Patriots. And Kenny Moore this week after his performance, he ended up being on the Trenches show with Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed, and Tim. I don't know Tim's last name, but I know his name is Tim. And it was a great conversation, a great podcast. I'll leave the link for the entire episode down below in the description. But there was something that Kenny Moore said on that podcast that I thought was great to hear from one of the leaders of the team. And I thought you guys would want to hear it, and I'd like to talk about it with you. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then we'll react to it.
I mean, for a team, yeah, we had to work through, that 3-loss drought.
Okay, so when you hear that, like when I hear that, what do I think? I think that is exactly what you want to hear from your leader. And Kenny Moore's the kind of guy, like, he doesn't look like he's just saying it to say it. Like, I'm supposed to say this, right? This is in a conversation, like, take out of context, like it looks like he might just be saying this. This is like during the middle of a conversation. He was just asked a question, they're in the middle of a conversation, and this is what he says. And I think when you hear a guy not only talking about, how much he loves Coach Shane, but as one of the leaders of the team talking about how he's telling guys that, trying to get guys to buy in, right? He wants everybody to buy in because he believes in the message that Shane's preaching, and he wants everybody else to buy into it. And I think that right there is exactly what you wanted to hear, right? Coming out of the Frank Reich era into the Shane Steichen era, there's been so much good from Shane, and he has great energy. He's not afraid to show his emotion on the sideline, which I think is great, right? He doesn't, get too high or get too low. He obviously gets frustrated at the officials, and we've seen that plenty of times, but he's not afraid to show his emotions, and I think that's been great to see. And I think the players think the same thing, right? Everything that they see more of Shane than any of us, right? And have a personal relationship with him. And everything that I've seen of Shane Steichen over time that he's been here is just, it's great. He seems like a great person to hang around. Seems like the kind of dude that you'd be like, yeah, I'd go have a beer with that guy, go talk with that guy, watch a game with that guy. Like, he is all football. And he just seems like a dude, right? Somebody you can kick it with, and seems like a really good football coach. So to see everybody else buying into that, to see the players being able to buy into that the way the Colts fans have, I think that right there over time, right, as the culture continues to rebuild itself, I think that is what brings a lot of promise to what we're looking at in the future, especially with Anthony Richardson. And having leaders like Zaire Franklin and Kenny Moore preaching this kind of stuff, that's the kind of thing, like, as veterans in the league, with all these new guys coming in the league in this rookie class, seems like it could be really good. Like, these young guys coming in, hearing the leaders talk like this, and hearing the leaders talk about buying in, and them being able to see what the veterans are doing and how they prepare and how they go about getting ready for these games, and seeing what Coach Shane expects from these guys day in and day out, week in and week out. As the culture continues to build and as the talent continues to get better on this team, like, the future is bright, man. Being able to hear this from the leaders of the team, this is exactly what you want to hear, right? And there was more directly after this. Like, this is all part of what Kenny's talking about. This is another thing he was talking about. That right there, that a direct message from the leader, like, yo, we can't keep doing this. We're not giving up 40 points a game. Okay, you go out there, have a good game, or don't talk to me after this game. And he went out there and he did it himself, right? He went out there, put up 14 points. Okay, both the Panthers and the Colts, both those offenses put up 13 in that game. Kenny Moore had 14 points, right? And it's one thing to be in the right spot and get an interception, but to be able to take both of them for a touchdown and really be able to affect that game the way he did. Like, Kenny Moore is the leader of that defense right now. He's the guy that everybody's looking to. Obviously, Zaire Franklin, too. Of course, he's in the middle of that defense. He's the one calling everything out to everybody. But Kenny Moore is the guy right now. And having him on this team is great. And I hope we're able to pay him with the bye week coming up. We're going to have conversations about different guys that we should pay going into next season, guys that we shouldn't. We're going to be talking about free agents that we might need to go pick up, right? Some of those veteran guys that, just kind of sitting around, waiting around to see where they can end up late in the season. And I think there are a couple guys out there that would be useful for us. I think there are a couple guys out there on practice squads that would be useful. So there's going to be a lot to talk about next week. But going into this weekend, having Kenny Moore, having Zaire Franklin looks like he'll be back. Like, I still feel good about us, man. I feel good about where we are right now. I continue to say we're not Super Bowl contenders, especially now with Anthony Richardson in there, right? But I like the direction we're going. Everything that Shane has done, the way the teams looked under Shane and this new coaching staff, I really like where we're at. I like where we're headed in the future. And it's nice to finally be able to be excited about the Colts again, right? We've had some tough years since Andrew Luck retired. Philip Rivers' year was good and exciting. There was definitely some exciting football in that season. But for the most part, since Luck retired, man, it's been a wild ride, and it feels like we're about to be on the ride of going back up. We have a really tough division, a lot of good quarterbacks, even Will Levis. A lot of us Colts fans, a lot of people in general, a lot of football fans in general, toasted the Titans for taking Will Levis, and everybody was talking about, he's not going to be that guy, which is why he slid down in the second round. But looks like he's going to be pretty good in the future. He's just got to continue to work right. CJ Stroud is balling out. Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville is Trevor Lawrence. So, it's going to be a juggernaut in the AFC South for a while. But I like our chances, man. We have a really good coach, and I think coaching matters. So we'll see what happens again in the future. But for right now, I'm really excited about this team, really excited about going and dominating the Patriots in Germany. And if you share those sentiments, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, keep notifications on. It's like I said, we're going to have content every single day, even through the bye week. So whether you're new or returning or you're planning to come back again, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And I appreciate you stopping by for this video. Until next time, as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.